Lahat ng drama, tawanan, balita at all-time favorite music hits. Sa lungkot at ligaya, kami pa rin ang inyong kasama. We're the place where you truly belong. Mula sa TVH Group of Networks, ito ang inyong himpilan. Ito ang inyong tahanan. Number 1 sa Mega Manila.
Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. This is koolNews at 6. I'm Caro, and we are live on KoolFM and News Radio 93.1, where we share the latest news headlines that truly care for you. Let's begin with our first round of headlines. As a Philippine Coast Guard official criticized China for its attempt to impose a new order in the West Philippine Sea. PCG spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commander J. Terrella slammed the China Coast Guard, whose vessel has been illegally operating off Zambales province, for threatening a Philippine ship that they would take necessary measures if it won't leave the area. For him, China's threat indicates its desire to impose a new order that undermines the rules-based international system. The threats against the legitimate presence of the Philippines conducting maritime patrols, warning that if we do not leave, they will take necessary measures and we will bear the consequences, clearly indicate China's desire to impose a new order that undermines the rules-based international system. Darrell wrote Sunday, January 26 on X. He added, they appear intent on reverting to a system where it might dictate what is deemed right, allowing powerful countries to impose their interests at the expense of others' rights and jurisdiction. Darrella also disclosed in his social media post that CCG vessel 3103 has been operating illegally at a distance of 93 nautical miles off the coast of Zambales. He added that BRB Capro's radio communications with the CCG vessel showed that the Chinese Communist Party is disregarding international law while arrogantly asserting jurisdiction over these waters, which are well beyond the People's Republic of China's baseline. He likewise said, without needing to emphasize the key points of the 2016 Imperial Award, which invalidated their 9-line claim, it's evident that anyone with a sound mind, genuine concern about preserving peace and stability in the region, would acknowledge that the presence in the Philippines' exclusive economic zone is both barbaric and illegitimate. Meanwhile, a total of 903 police officers were dismissed from service last year due to various offenses, according to the Philippine National Police. PNP's 24 data showed that 5,457 police officers were charged administratively. Of this figure, 903 officers were dismissed, including 5 lieutenant colonels, 6 majors, 12 captains, and 5 lieutenants. On the other hand, 2,765 were met penalties, while 2,691 were exonerated. Among those penalized, 1,112 received suspensions, including a colonel, 19 lieutenant colonels, 29 majors, 30 captains, and 22 lieutenants, the police force said in a statement released on Sunday. Other penalties imposed included demotion with 108, forfeiture of salary with 103, reprimand with 423, restriction with 82, and withholding of privileges with 34, it added. Aside from these figures, PNP Chief General Romel Barbel ordered the placing of 20 police officers under restricted custody. These officers are still on active duty and were charged over a multi-billion drug bust in Manila in late 2022. In line with this, the police force imposed measures such as the Zero Backlog Program, which is a 110-day resolution timeframe prescribed by the National Police Commission Memorandum Circular Number 2016002. Moreover, 1,663 personnel underwent seminars on disciplinary policies to enhance their the capacity to handle administrative cases with efficiency and procedural precision. Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police has arrested 374 individuals for violating the election gun ban as of Sunday morning. The PNP reported that the non-violators include 358 civilians, 4 members of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, 1 police officer, 10 security guards, 2 other law enforcement personnel, 1 appointed government official, and 3 foreigners. Of those arrested, 64 were apprehended at checkpoints set up by the Commission on Elections, or COMELEC. The PNP also confiscated a total of 383 firearms, including 283 small firearms, one light weapon, 7 explosives, and 92 other types of firearms. Of these weapons, 59 were seized at COMELEC checkpoints. The COMELEC has set up 98,755 checkpoints nationwide to enforce the gun ban, which is in effect from January 12 to June 11 under COMELEC Resolution number 11067. The gun ban aims to ensure peace and order during the election period for the May 2025 midterm polls. This prohibition is a bid to reduce gun-related violence. As we head over for the weather, most parts of the country are expected to experience cloudy skies and rain showers on Sunday due to 3 weather systems, according to the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration. In the morning forecast, Pagasa said northeast monsoon or amihan will mainly affect extreme northern Luzon, and eastern parts of the country. On the other hand, the shear line will also bring high chances of rain in northern Luzon and the eastern parts of the country. Meanwhile, eastern lights will affect most parts of Mindanao and some parts of eastern Visayas. Grace Castellada, who is the Pagasa weather specialist, said, "We are expecting a surge of the northeast monsoon in the coming days, which will bring cold weather. No low pressure area or tropical cyclone was monitored inside and outside the country's area of responsibility. No gale warning was likewise raised in any of the country's seaboard." Alright, as we return to the regular headlines, the House of Representatives is set to investigate the spread of fake news and disinformation in the country, aiming to uncover a massive information machinery. 3 House panels, committees on public order, public information and communication and and information and communications technology will jointly conduct the probe, which Santa Rosa City, Laguna Representative Dan Fernandez will spearhead. On Monday, January 27th, the House committees will hold their first executive briefing. Fernandez said in a statement on Sunday, "Filipinos have the right to the truth. We must protect our fellow citizens from false information that causes fear, confusion, and division in our society." In the same statement, the House said representatives from major social media platforms will be invited to the briefing to explain their policies on combating disinformation, cyberbullying, and harmful content. It added that the inquiry will examine the role of social media companies in addressing fake news and holding repeat offenders accountable, including irresponsible influencers and vloggers. The probe will also look into the broader consequences of disinformation on national security, particularly the West Philippine Sea dispute and its impact on vulnerable sectors such as the youth and marginalized communities, according to the House. Fernandez emphasized the need for stricter safeguards and penalties against people or entities that manipulate information for personal or political gain. He said, "We will not allow this system to continue where our fellow citizens are deceived. It's time to uncover those spreading lies for personal gain." He then urged the public to stay vigilant and critical of the information they read or see online, stressing that fighting fake news requires collective action. Fernandez stressed, "Fake news is a poison that destroys democracy. We will not stop until those behind it are held accountable and the proper protections for our citizens are in place. To those spreading lies, we warn you. We will ensure that those who spread fake news will be held accountable," he added. And the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, admitted that the unnecessary suffering for millions of Filipino members was due to disagreements of policies with the Department of Health. During a briefing of the House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability on January 22, PhilHealth President Emmanuel Ledesma acknowledged a collapse in the functions of the DOH and the state health insurer. He agreed that the inefficiencies must be resolved to improve healthcare delivery in the country. He issued these affirmations as Iloilo 1st District Representative Janete Garin criticized PhilHealth officials for failing to coordinate effectively with the DOH, noting that lapses have delayed healthcare services and wasted resources. The House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability was looking into the inefficiencies, duplication of rules, and unused government subsidies of the two agencies. Garin, who is the former DOH secretary, said in Filipino in a statement released on Sunday. In other words, PhilHealth cannot shoulder all health problems and the DOH cannot cover all hospital expenses either. Garin likewise explained, DOH is for promotive and preventive healthcare, while PhilHealth should focus on curative healthcare and catastrophic illnesses. DOH purchases should not be reimbursed by PhilHealth. PhilHealth packages should not overlap with DOH packages, she added. In the same hearing, PhilHealth Vice President Lemuel Untalan said efforts to refine member enrollment lists and remove ineligible beneficiaries are underway. However, he noted that data from the Department of Social Welfare and Development, which is only updated every 4 years, contribute to inefficiencies in the members' lists. Lawmakers have questioned the retroactive enrollment of senior citizens before the universal healthcare law took effect. Garin even criticized the outdated enrollment process as it led to unused funds that could have been utilized to expand benefits or lower premiums. Garin likewise flagged the persistent issue of hospitals inflating prices for medicines and laboratory tests when patients use their PhilHealth to cover hospital expenses. She said when PhilHealth pays, the prices of medicines and laboratory tests steadily increase. Health Assistant Secretary Albert Domingo meanwhile assured lawmakers that they are doing something to improve coordination between the DOH and PhilHealth. Ledesma, for his part, vowed to address the policy gaps and provide Congress with a report on how unused funds are managed. Coming up later on koolNews at 6, Trump's first week, everything, everywhere, all at once. How did the first week of Donald Trump went during his second term? Meanwhile, Trump suggests that U.S. releasing 2,000 bombs to Israel. U.S. stops issuing gender-neutral ex-passports under Trump order. And in international side, Brazil slams U.S. after dozens of deportees arrived handcuffed. And North Korea tests fires sea-to-surface strategic cruise missiles. It is now 6:13 p.m. as we will return with more news headlines right here on koolNews at 6, right after the break.
This koolNews edition was brought to you by Pilsen Healthy Home, odorless antibacterial paint. Ginuman San Rafael, ganadong mabuhay. UNC, moving it for Filipinos since 1969. Venom Power Chit Energy Drink with Malunggay. Neutral Light Style Low Fat Milk Powder. So good you'll float. Product excellence of Hongsang. And QBA Telecom's all-new Aria Saya 30. Now with 10 gigabytes access to Mobile Legends, PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty, Wild Rift, Cookie Run Kingdom, and Clash Royale for 7 days. QBA Telecom, connecting every Filipino story.
Hello, buenas noches Filipinas. My name is Blue Wave and you're watching Sábado en la Noche with Blue.
Nandito na ang bagong Saturday Primetime Talk Show kasama si Blue Wave.
At my joy transmission po ang SPC bukas 6 a.m. Ay, joy lang po.
Uli!
Pero hindi mo kami katulad. Isang side lang mga iniisip at tinatanggap.
Kung showbiz balita, teknolohiya, BDAU reading o iba pa, we got you covered.
One last word, Mika, I love you. Bye.
Sábado en la Noche with Blue. Tuwing Sábado, 9 p.m. Dito lang sa Cool FM. Ang inyong himpilan, ang inyong tahanan.
You're listening to Cool FM.
Number 1 sa Mega Manila.
Nationwide pa!
Kamote! Kamote naman. Try mo to. Ha? Ang mura naman!
Dito ka na. Sa mapapamura ka talaga. Move it. Discarding tapat. Dumarami na ang gumagaling sa Sid Panyawan Herbal Capsule. Ako po si Antonio de la Cruz from Northern Cotabato. Dati po sumakit yung likod ko pero ngayon gumaling na dahil sa Sid Panyawan.
Ako po si Kin. At dati po sumakit po aking tiyan at likod at ulo. Ayun, ininom ko yung herbal capsule. Pagkatapos bigla ako gumaling. Ay bay, natuwang aking misis.
Mabibili sa lahat ng drugstores nationwide.
Tol, tol, tol! Tol, tol, tol! Tolentino! Tol ng bawat Pilipino! Tolentino!
Tolentino, Senador.
Mark Juice 9-in-1.
Mark Juice 9-in-1 plus 1.
Mark Juice 9-in-1. Plus 1. Ika'y mapapawaw sa sarap. Ito ang juice na para sa lahat. Merong benepisyo sa ating katawan. Ang juice na to nakakabawas ng timbang. Basta Mark Juice 9-in-1 plus 1. Siguradong masarap yan. Pwede sa lahat kasi halal. Mark Juice 9-in-1 plus 1. Ganado ka.
Mark Juice 9-in-1 plus 1 drink mix. Ganado araw-araw basta naka Mark Juice. Call or text 0947-645-3153 or 042-717-3163. Email sales@jmarmarketing.com. Visit the Shopee account Jmar Marketing Online Shop. Sa Lazada, Jmar Marketing Online Shop. Sa Facebook, Jmar Marketing Food Trader.
Mark Juice 9-in-1 plus 1.
Kabayanin kita! Sa One Hinebra Nation! Kaya para sa barangay, ako namang magbibigay. Kabayanin tayo! Kabayanin kita!
Drink responsibly.
Ang numero unong kailangan sa ngayon, extra strong ka dapat para di ka mawasak ng anumang hamong ibigay sa'yo. Ang hanap ng Red Horse Beer, extra strong na tulad mo. Lakas. Tama. Kayang tumindig at harapin ang mga pagsubok na parating. Panatag ang loob na bukas na namnamin mo ang iyong tagumpay. Lakas ng tama pero di wasak sa hamon ng bukas.
Red Horse Extra Strong, the #1 extra strong beer in the world.
Drink responsibly.
Yeah. Sa ulo ng mga balita.
Nabitin? Magtusiran Forte with Total Cough Relief Formula. Laban sa dry non-stop ubo, kati sa lalamunan due to post-nasal drip at sakit sa kakaubo.
Tusiran Forte!
Unilab yan. Dextromethorphan, HBr plus phenylpropanolamine HCl plus paracetamol is the generic name of Tusiran Forte. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Aray, ng katawan buong araw at work. No worries, just pack Salon Pass para maghatid ng direct ingredient penetration pang mabilisan within 30 minutes ay pangbatanggal ang relief na dumidikit hanggang 8 oras. Patch, shoulder, neck, back, body pain, patch, Salon Pass.
Methylsalicylate dimethyl tocopherol acetate DL Camphor is a generic name of Salon Pass. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Mula sa #1 Smart Dishwashing Paste.
Tanggaling-galing mo! Smart dishwashing paste ko. Pritong ulam na masebo, plato o kaldero. Tanggaling for everyday.
Ganyan pag Smart ang dishwashing paste. May double tanggaling formula. Tanggal galing ang sebo at bacteria.
Bahid para walang bahid, linis fantastic sa metal at plastic. #1 ko to! Tanggaling-galing mo, Smart dishwashing paste.
Heavy duty linis bawat pahid.
Smart Dishwashing Paste, manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified, world-class quality.
ACS.
continue with our headlines. So let's begin with the international headlines, and the first we're going to be reading is Trump's first week. So Donald Trump has shaken up America and the world in an extraordinary first week back in the White House that some will remake the U.S. political universe in his own image. On his first day, Trump signed more executive orders than any president in history, consolidating his power over every lever of the U.S. government. Since then, he has seemingly been everywhere, doing everything all at once to further impose his will and his conservative, nationalist version of a golden age, quote-unquote, on the country. The theme has been promises made, promises kept, starting with his mass pardons for the 2021 U.S. Capitol rioters and a slew of executive orders from immigration to gender. From Trump and his supporters, the theme has been one of regal, even divine power. The 78-year-old claimed he was saved by God from an assassination attempt to make America great again and danced with a sword at an integral ball. His ally, Elon Musk, the world's richest man, simply hailed the return of the king. Trump's influence on the world stage is outsized too, as he flaunts mass troops and threats of American territorial expansion. Early in his new term, emboldened by his astonishing resurrection, Trump appears to be Godzilla domestically and abroad. Larry Sabato, director of the University of Virginia's Center for Politics, told AFP. If Trump's supporters and critics have any doubts about what his second coming would bring, they were dispelled with a few quick squeaky strokes of a black marker in the Oval Office on Monday. Hours after his integration at the U.S. Capitol, Trump signed a pardon of 1,500 rioters who had stormed the same building 4 years earlier to try to overturn his election loss to Joe Biden. But it was just the start of an avalanche of dizzy changes. The Republicans' orders launched a long-promised immigration crackdown, eliminated birthright citizenship, and said the U.S. government would only recognize two genders. He purged the government of diversity efforts and employees, and then got rid of the internal watchdogs who might challenge his rulings. He yanked the United States out of the Paris Climate Agreement and the World Health Organization. "We are so back," was the repeated refrain heard in the corridors of the White House. His spokeswoman insisted Trump had delivered more in 100 hours than any president in 100 days, and the contracts with Trump's own first term could not have been greater. Instead of chaos and fights, the first days of Trump 2.0 have been marked by what appears to be careful planning, stately discipline, and intense messaging. Internationally, Trump appeared at the Davos Forum on a huge screen where he towered over the gathered global elite. Trump has told other countries to either make products in America or face strips. All week, he has repeated his territorial threats against Greenland and Panama, calling their sovereignty into question even as he asserted America's. Trump is saying, "I am in control," said Peter Loge, the director of George Washington University School of Media and Public Affairs. But the return of the Trump show has also brought back some old habits and challenges. Trump still can't resist rehashing grievances against opponents, including a bishop at his integral service who urged him to show mercy, and continues to deploy falsehoods and exaggerations. Nor can the former reality TV star resist a microphone, holding a series of freewheeling encounters with the press since his return. At one point, Trump asked reporters, "Does Biden ever do news conference like this?" Key promises remain unfulfilled. U.S. grocery prices remain high despite Trump's pledge that they would come down, and the war in Ukraine that he would vow to end within 24 hours of his return grinds on. But as billionaire Trump promised a golden age, his critics fear it will come with a dark side. For instance, the free leader of one far-right military toured the Capitol 2 days after the January 6 protests, and a neo-Nazi group paraded at an anti-abortion march in Washington that Trump himself addressed by video message. Trump's message praised every child as a beautiful gift from the head of our Creator, the same God from whom Trump had claimed a divine mandate in his inaugural address on Monday. Trump would love to restore the so-called imperial presidency that existed from Franklin Roosevelt in the 1930s until Richard Nixon's fall in 1974, said Sabato. However, Sabato added that era was long gone and Trump lacks the strong public support necessary to sustain the tough image he's projecting. While Democrats and the anti-Trump resistance that opposed his 2016 victory have largely fallen silent for now, there is already legal action against key parts of his agenda. We all know Trump. He can't change and won't change. So over time, much of the public will tire of his antics, just as they did in his first term, said Sabato. Meanwhile, Donald Trump said Saturday that a lot of things ordered by Israel were not being delivered, following a report that the US president had released a hold on the provision of 2,000-pound bombs. Trump said in a post on his Truth Social platform, a lot of things that were ordered and paid for by Israel but have not been sent by Biden are now on their way. Former President Joe Biden's administration last year halted shipments of 2,000-pound bombs within the period Israel was supposed to launch a major ground operation in heavily populated areas of Gaza, a move that Washington opposed. Biden had warned that use of the munitions in such areas would cause great human tragedy and damage. Also, meanwhile, the United States has ceased issuing passports with a gender-neutral X option. The State Department said following President Donald Trump's order limiting government recognition of transgender identity. The move rolls back the option first introduced under former President Joe Biden's administration. At least an unknown number of people are waiting further guidance on the fate of their pending applications and already issued passports. Trump, shortly after taking office on Monday, signed an executive order requiring federal agencies to only give the option of male or female as part of an array of actions aimed at quickly reversing policies enacted by his predecessor. In line with that order, the department's issuance of U.S. passports will reflect the individual's biological sex as defined in the executive order, a U.S. State Department spokesperson said Friday night. The spokesperson said the department is no longer issuing U.S. passports with X markers and has suspended processing of all applications seeking a different sex marker than that defined by the terms in the executive order. Guidance regarding previous issued X sex marker passports is forthcoming, the spokesperson added, saying updates will be posted on the department's travel website. Meanwhile, Brazil's government expressed outrage on Saturday after dozens of immigrants deported from the United States arrived by plane in handcuffs, calling it a flagrant disregard for their rights. The split comes as Latin America grapples with U.S. President Donald Trump's return to power with a hard-line anti-immigration agenda, promising crackdowns on irregular immigration and mass deportations. When the plane landed in the northern city of Manaus, Brazilian authorities ordered U.S. officials to immediately remove the handcuffs, the Justice Ministry said in a statement. Justice Minister Ricardo Lewandowski told President Luis Inacio Lula da Silva of the flagrant disregard for the fundamental rights of Brazilian citizens, the statement said. A government source told AFP the departure flight was not directly linked to any immigration orders issued by Trump upon taking office Monday, but rather stemmed from a 2017 bilateral agreement. The flight was originally designed for the southeastern city of Belo Horizonte, but encountered a technical issue forcing it to land in Manaus. A statement from Brazil's federal police said the plane arrived Friday night with 88 Brazilians on board, but the government of Amazonas state, of which Manaus is the capital, said there were 79 passengers, 62 men, 11 women, and 6 children. Upon learning of the situation, President Lula ordered that a Brazilian Air Force aircraft be mobilized to transport the Brazilians to their final destination in order to ensure that they would complete the journey with dignity and safety, the Justice Ministry said. And finally, North Korea has test-fired sea-to-surface guided cruise missiles, state news agency Korean Central News Agency reported Sunday, adding that the weapons precisely hit their targets. The war deterrence means of the armed forces of the DPRK are being perfect more thoroughly, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said as he oversaw Saturday's test, the agency reported. The missiles hit their marks after traveling along the 1,500-kilometer or 950-mile elliptical and figure-8 orbits, the report said, adding that there was no negative impact on the security of neighboring countries. KCNA did not say where the test took place. And that brings us to the end of koolNews at 6. As we will return with more news headlines later with koolNews Prime Time at 10:30. Until then, my name is Caro, and the music continues right here on Kool FM. This is your stick. This is home. What do you think?